Don't be a dick. Yeah.
Okay, good night. Love you. Um, it's my awesome wife. She's great. Um, so yeah, don't filter yourself so much in that area, which is something I'm kind of anticipating. It's going to be a balance of everything, but let
Mhm.
your opinion be known, and don't be afraid to say it. Um, Andrew, you're here because I love your mind. You are the thought artist. You know, like you're always crafting these ideas, and I think you're going to be the one who's always anticipating possibilities or the way the plot twists are going to develop and stuff like that. Um, which is why you're here. You bring the outside the box approach, which brings in, because there were two staples that I developed, and the third was I wanted something different than those two, and I think you fit that very well with the not trying to do things the obvious way, the not traditional way. Um, but on the flip side of that, something that you can work on, I think, would be to um, whatever before you tap into that I feel like almost unlimited creative power that you have. Before you tap into that vein, um, try to get a feeling on, is this the time and place for that? It'll always be the time and place. Most of the time, be time and place for me, but get a feel of your fellow actors and the moment. Be more aware of the moment and not so much on the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. With Ryan, positives are your game sense, your big picture. I feel like you're always just aware of where things are going, what I'm looking for. I think you really are easily able to tap into that just based on your interview and the shit I was talking about. I felt like they were all completely oblivious, and you were like beyond there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that would be a really good balance to this party, which is why I wanted to do this. Just to see how everybody feels about it. But I think that what you would bring to, if it was this four, is the being able to identify the strengths and weaknesses of the other three and finding a sensible way of applying it to the best moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Negatives, I'm really unsure about if you're gonna stay, to be honest. Just because you missed it, and I get you have your reasons,
for sure.
but that's my main hesitation. Is, man, it's like, is this guy gonna be here on the last day? Which I could say that about myself. I could say that about anybody, but that's my main hesitation. And you gave good reasons without it coming off as excuses. But I think what I'm looking for from you, which you still have time tonight, is just reassuring that if you were selected, what is your commitment going to look like? And like, I don't know how to tell you to convince me, but
right, yeah.
I feel like you kind of assured me, but I don't feel convinced.
Well, it's like initially when I said, like when we had messaged and I said, like, I'm not going to try and make excuses for myself. Like, I missed it, and I understand, like, that I probably won't be considered anymore, like it really was like I just didn't, I didn't look, but if I had looked, I would have been there. And I told you, if I did end up getting selected, I'd give you my 110% commitment. But, I've always been kind of an actions speak louder than words guy. So it is kind of like I can say whatever I want to you to try and convince you, but you really don't. You have no idea whether I'd commit or not for the duration of the campaign. But I am very excited for this, and I think it would be an awesome thing to be a part of. And if I was selected, I'd definitely make Tuesdays my priority.
I like the fact that you said that actions speak louder than words. People who mean what they say in a moment like that, that's the right thing to say instead of just saying words again. So that did help you there. All right, who wants to go next?
Sure, I'll go if you don't mind. So go with the DM, easy target.
Freedom!
Yeah, he can't kill you yet. He can't kill you.
Not yet. just you wait.
Taking notes.
So to me, I'll go with the negative is the DM. I feel like your methods and your personality definitely, as you had said before, you're blunt, and as I had said, my one word was cruel. You certainly have this kind of level of you might not be taking bullshit, but I mean you'll do it in a polite way, certainly, but you have no hesitation to really pulling at someone's like weak spot or poking the button. Like you have no hesitation like getting in there, getting dirty, which to a lot of people, I mean, it just feels like you're very invasive when it feels like you've never really had the chance to know someone full enough. Mm-hmm. So it almost comes off as like overly criticizing, I guess, to that one negative. But positive wise, I mean, I think you're very fair. I honestly feel that you know that no matter what you do, you always will be thinking of it in a calculated way, and you will think of it as a real, like, you know, a logical thinker. You won't let your emotions drive you. You won't let biases drive you, and you just kind of feel that you have a good sense of what you think is the right thing, and you know, and that confidence is a good way to keep yourself balanced on your decisions. Like, because that's one of the biggest things. Just like when you make a decision as a DM, that's the one you go with, and that's how you make it. And being able to be firm and forward with that is a crucial thing. And I think you've got that to do. Dillon, I still feel like you're distant. I mean, as Ryan says, your posture is very closed, reserved, but I'm sure that's from a lot of your background. Being in the military, that's something that has probably been ingrained in you. But there is this level of, I feel almost cold-shouldered to a degree. It's as if like I feel like I've been judged before I've even had a chance to be anything. Mm-hmm. So I guess that would be the negatives. I feel very like you're pushing me away without even knowing it, I guess. But I do like the fact that one of your best is that you're pure. In a sense, you're just flatline honest. I feel like if I wanted to get the honest opinion on something, I'd ask you. Like, I mean, I feel like if you wouldn't give any sugarcoating, you wouldn't really give it any kind of more thought than just saying, you know, honestly, this is how I see it. Take it as you will, but that's it. And it's nice to have someone who can actually feel good about dishing that out. Because if you don't have that level of you would say feeling like you're not going to be hurt yourself. Like it's like you feel strong enough that no matter what they throw back at you, or no matter what opinion you give to them, it's not going to make yourself get worse. No matter what they do afterwards, no matter any response, reply, or backlash, it's not going to rattle you. So you're stern and strong in that. Kyle, yeah. I mean, you're a lovable guy, really do. I really think there's no one who can really hate you. The thing I said that I thought is you're a little distracted, and I mean, you even made mention of it earlier today that your mind will start to think about other things, and it almost looks like sometimes that you're off somewhere else, and it feels that maybe there's a chance that whatever is said to you doesn't seem to get through or might not be going through, and it's hard to tell because even if it might not have gone through, your personality of being so lovable just kind of covers it up. And it's very hard to kind of hate you for it at the same time and not be sure as whether or not you really are or aren't. But that's just like the initial what I see. But I don't think it's necessarily going to overshadow your phenomenal just charm. That is charisma 20. That's you. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything that people could really hold against you at any time. You're lovable, you're funny, and I mean, people love to just like bounce off of you. You're a great conversationalist. As Ryan said, hosting, people would love just to chat with you.
You really remind me of Travis Willingham too, man. I get such a Travis Willingham off of you.
I was gonna wear my Jocks Machina shirt. I didn't know if that was
You even do. You like look like him a little bit too. It's pretty funny.
I have a Rhino shirt on. Does that help?
Nice.
Dave the Chubby Unicorn, guys.
He does remind me of him. That's funny. Yeah.
Again, I've been called worse, so I'll take that.
So Ryan, I guess the thing, I mean, it's easy to pick the procrastination as a thing and the time management as one, but besides just doing that, I feel the only thing that I have seen that's been kind of questioning a little bit is that you seem to be almost, I wouldn't want to say uncertain, but you seem slightly guarded, I guess. Your words seem to be held back, like you will revert and you'll go, it'll be like, it goes like that. A lot of your dialogue seems to have this kind of almost like a skip hesitation. And I'm not entirely sure if that's because you're still feeling, a little closed off and you don't feel as willing to open, but there is this kind of sense that you feel like your words are not as, you don't feel as confident in your words. I feel like you have this level of, I'll accept my flaws and I'll accept anything I can get at me, but I don't really feel like I'm taking everything that I'm being told and said and building upon it. It almost seems more rather, I'll take it, but I feel like this is me and I can't change. It almost looks like there's this level of, I feel this is how I am, and I don't really know if I'm going to be able to better myself for it. But on your positives, the thing I like about you is you actually are engaging. You're very much there, and your presence is it's not too much and it's not too little. You know how to talk, and when you do talk, you make sure to lay claim to it and you go with it. Even if you have any kind of reservation or if you're hesitant as to what you're trying to get at, you still go with it. And that's nice. You don't actually just fall back. If you feel like you don't know what the answer is, you don't just close off entirely. You'll step up. You might not know exactly the best thing, but you know exactly that you should be talking. And it's really good to have that in a way that's kind of almost that's like a very inverse to the previous one that we were talking about, because a lot of the times he was more reserved. Mm-hmm. He seemed not to talk as much and didn't seem to want to present and push to other people, but you have that. You seem to be more.
I agree.
There.
Thank you.
I'll go. All right. God. I thought we already did this, Sean. All right. Well,
it's got to be similar, to be fair.
Okay. All right. I'll start with the new guy. Let's do that, right? I'll do negatives first, just because that part sucks. All right. The one thing that kind of jumped out to me was getting. This is gonna sound kind of dumb, I guess, but getting back into player mode almost. Like if we select you to be part of the team, one of the questions that was always highlighted in our original interview was sharing spotlight, and I know for myself I'm going to really hone in on doing that. But even in these conversations here, it's almost like your DM just kept coming out. And I know you made earlier topic choice of or comment of it's going to be interesting to play with a lot of DMs because now you have people that actually want to engage in the role playing. And at the same time, man, that's like, if we're going to do this as a show thing, it's going to really come to the fence walking of too much and not enough. I don't think anyone here is going to have a problem of not enough. The one thing that just kind of worries me about since getting back into the DM part of it would be too much. That's the only real negative I could really think of. The positive was actually, interestingly enough, on the flip side, kind of going along with what AJ said about you was, I mean, you just jumped right in instantly. You weren't. First of all, I appreciate the apology, right? It takes a big person, to admit when you're just wrong, and there's no excuses. You didn't try to lie about it. Just fucking, I screwed up, and that's what it is. And you've gone through the ringer of all of this, which we kind of put you in the forefront here since we already did this. But no, man. I mean, you said about me hosting you to come over. I felt the same way. I'd have you over. We'd play video games, order pizza, that kind of thing. So I don't see the fluidity of the group. I actually think I think you'd fit right in from the gate. So kudos just jumping in with all of us random people. Dillon, my man. I'm gonna do negatives first for everyone. My really only negative is just willingness just to open up and roll with me, man. I think actually Sean commented on, and I'll go back to it again and again. Like I'm really interested to see once we start playing, like how we can play off of each other, because I really think that our combo could be amazing. At the same time, it worries me some. I thought about it actually yesterday Friday. I think when I talked with Sean about it, and after we got off our conversation was the one thing that worries me if we don't roll together or open up to me, like I just feel like maybe I'll be playing. I'll always be playing with 3 other people and Dillon's there. I don't want that. I want to be. But on the flip side of that too, my positive, interestingly enough, AJ had a nice visual there with that. Like, I just think there's no guesswork with who Dillon is, man, and that's a good thing to have too. I mean, one of the questions again came down to the leader thing, and I mean it's. I know this is D&D, but man, I'd follow Dillon just anywhere. I think in this game, I mean, if you say storm the castle, there's a reason for it. So I mean, all right, dude, and I feel like we could have a real good brother in arms kind of thing going. So that's I always know where I'm at with you, and not to copy AJ, but if I want an answer, I'm probably gonna come to Dillon, and he's just not gonna sugarcoat it. Just tell me what I maybe don't. It's just what I need to hear. So that's good. Shit. All right, who to do next? All right, AJ. I mean, this is gonna sound so corny, but I'm sitting here thinking, man, and I really, my original negative from before was overbearing, and even now, just in this second interview conversation, Ryan had made mention that you're actually quiet. So it's almost like you listened to what I said. I don't know. I'm trying to sit here, think of a negative, and this is gonna sound so corny, but I just can't really think of one right now. And I know that's almost unlike me not to think of one. Maybe I'll think of one a little bit later and I'll blurt it out because that sounds about right.
That's fair.
I'll think of a con just because. But I mean, the positives, man, is that you are I think the definition of genuine. I think you. I know Sean said I speak from my heart, but I think you do too, man. I would never have guessed that you had a confidence issue before or anything like that. You're even in the chat, you were typing away and all kinds of stuff. So I really, even just out of game stuff, would just love to have just conversations with you, because I think we could, as I mentioned before, talk for hours just about life or games or anything really. Just genuine, man, genuine and smart. All right, DM. So my negative or thing to work on, kind of echoes what Ryan said a little bit about. It's almost unfair to say because we haven't seen you DM yet, so I can't. It's like almost like a catch-22 here, I guess. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but it's like I haven't seen you DM yet, so I don't really know what to say. But like even just when I DM, that's probably a bad example, but even just some of the other people I DM with, like just a up level tempo is just just a straightforwardness of. It's a really bad con to have because I haven't seen you DM, but that's actually the one thing I thought of before. So I thought since it was brought up, I'll kind of go along with it. But man, I'll tell you, my positive is that even from our first conversation, I've always really appreciated the way that you have a way of saying things that not only make sense to me, but are meaningful and they're heartfelt. Like, I mean, I make notes so I don't forget what I want to say. I haven't seen you take a note one time. I think you take everything in here and it does come out in a straightforward way, but it's always meaningful. And I really appreciate that. Even I think I said before, even if I wasn't selected, I would want to just talk with you about whatever and just, Yeah, I mean that's just you. Is it wear hard on your sleeve? Is that the term for it? I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but I mean, it's just always nice to hear that you don't, even though you're straightforward, you're just it's meaningful is where I'm trying to go with. It's heartfelt, and you really think about what you want to say. So,
thank you.
I'll think of your con in a second, AJ. Just can't.
Yeah.
And just so you guys are aware, once we're going, it's not always gonna be let's talk shit, let's boost each other up. It's gonna be just what it is. I just feel like at this point where we're at and just getting started, this is a really good way of just cutting the point, getting to know each other. And if you start off being honest and completely transparent and with a thick skin where you can take the criticism, I think it kind of like slingshots you into the comfortability with each other. So just so you guys are aware, I know you said, oh, it's getting old, like, oh, I thought we were done with this. I get what you're coming from, but the reason is to just get us to a place to where we're ahead of where we should be when you start a game, and then once it gets going, we're all going to find our place, and I'm not going to keep coming to this. Now, at the end of every game, I am going to do an AR where we'll talk about things to improve. If you guys figure out something new about each other, bring it up, but it's more towards how I'm running the game. It's going to be things I need to do to make it better for you. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is not going to be an eternal thing. All right. Who's next?
I think I'm the last one.
Okay.
All right, I'll just go across my screen.
Sure.
Kyle, you're fun, dude. I mean, honestly, like when I was doing the like reviews, I was like, I really don't have it. I like typed some bullshit in the cons. I was like, I don't have anything, honestly. Like, yes, pick him. Like, pick him over me. And it's a good thing. It's energy. It's like you did a fucking game show for your spotlight. Like,
epic.
It's just thinking. Like thinking outside the box like that, and the charisma, not only for a production but for a game and just as a person is a really great attribute. On the negative side, you've said a lot how you worry about going too much or just like getting overexcited and rambling off. I would disagree with that. I think that's one of your strongest character traits, and that if you try to subdue that too much, it might, it doesn't matter what. Well, it does matter. Like, don't pander too much to what other people want you to do. Is I think what I'm saying. Like, if it turns into a problem and you are like just fucking off into the sunset, like, yeah, all right, turn it back a little bit, but like, keep that sense of like frivolity, even if it might get on my nerves or someone else's nerves in game or whatever like that. Like, because that's why you were chosen. Is that energy. So getting rid of it would not do you any good.
Okay.
AJ, you got a lot going on in your head, and this is actually both the pro and the con. Like, there's a lot going on out there, and I can appreciate that. Like, you're constantly thinking about something. You've constantly got thoughts and ideas and concepts going through your head. On the negative side of that, though, sometimes I think there's a little too much going on up there. I think that you might benefit just from slowing it down just a little bit and kind of just take things in more than put stuff out. I do appreciate this, like the Skype chats, for instance. I do appreciate them. I do read them. I'm just very busy during the day with work. But sometimes it's just like a constant stream, and I think that it should be distilled a little bit. Because right now it's just like a bunch of thoughts and ideas, and I feel like it's just what's going through your head at the moment. And sometimes it's really good, and sometimes I feel like it's just fluff. So that's really my only negative.
You're a fluffer.
Yeah.
I think it's part of being a Californian. I swear that everyone says that that's one of what we do. We smile too much and we don't mean it, but we're just like, that's us.
Ryan, you sound like you're excited about this. which is important.
Very.
A lot of people in the selection process weren't excited, and that's why they're not here anymore. My only concern, I have a few concerns actually, but I think the biggest one is you sound like you've got a lot going on. And every single question that's been asked of you has been the perfect response. Now, I don't know if that's just because you're a great player, or if you're trying to tailor your responses to what we want to hear, like you said before every sentence. And it's just a little off-putting to me, because everyone has a flaw. And even from the interviews, we all showed moments of weakness in some point. Your only moment of weakness in this interview was talking about how you missed the callback. And maybe it's a little unfair to me, but that kind of puts me on my guard. Because aside from that, there's been no fuck-ups. Sean?
Interesting.
Sean, it's dedication, man. I like the straightforward on this. Like, literally just the amount of work that you put into this shit is flabbergasting every day. Like, it's a shock. I did not expect this much work when I sent in the interview, and not the interview, the application. Every day, like, the more and more that goes up, and now you're talking about, oh yeah, we have merch now. It's like, holy shit, when? Like, when did that happen? It's incredible, and I wouldn't be able to do it. No way. Even with the team, I'd be like, nah, fuck this shit. But at the same time, I feel like you're not confident enough. Like, the amount of work you've put into this, show some confidence, man. I mean, you've got something going. We're only a few weeks away from the first episode. And like we've been saying all night, like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. We're far past, I'd say, 90% of the streamers that do this anyway. I mean, yeah, like, you're always asking us, like, but, you know, tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Tell me if I need to fix something. Like, no, fucking, you do you. Like, you're doing great. Like, just take it for what it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Everybody.
I love this.
Yeah,
shit,
I mean,
man.
I would like to
So
say,
good.
like, to the credit of all of you, it does really show, like, for me, especially, like, the pros and cons that you've said about me, I think are, like, pretty accurate. And I think that shows a level of awareness that you all have of people and of situations that is, like, just, like, in its own, a very good trait to have. So even if that still makes me look like I'm trying to say the perfect thing, I think it's true, and I think, like, that's why you guys are all, like, have been chosen for the game, because you have that, like, level just of personal awareness of other human beings.
Right. That's actually why I've structured all of this. That is one of the main things I'm looking for, is just fucking awareness. That's, I mean, have you guys applied for other games? Do they do this kind of stuff?
No.
No, exactly. I didn't do it just to be different. That was a small part of it. But the main thing was, I want people who can prove in the moment, with no warning, can you show your awareness. I want people who are aware because of the level of production I'm looking for. Once the ball gets rolling, I want to just focus on running the game and throwing the stuff at you and describing stuff and presenting options for you guys and just let you guys shine. And I don't want to have to worry about, is this guy catching everything going on? You know what I mean? I could find people who can be the best voice actors and the best role players, but if they're not aware of the dynamics of the show and the moment, of every single moment, something's going to get missed, you know. And